Most horror games try to scare you with loud moments. The ones that really get to you, they're quiet, subtle, personal. Today, I want to show you 5 psychological horror games you probably never played, but 100% should. Let's begin. Let's start with something suffocating, literally.
Oceanova was once in a lifetime. They're breaking new ground, making something meaningful. Mining methane hydrate frozen beneath the seabed. There's alternatives, but none so plentiful. It's clean and safe. I couldn't say no.
In Narcosis, you're trapped in a deep sea diving suit on the ocean floor after a disaster strikes. You're completely alone, with only your oxygen tank and your thoughts. The game doesn't rely on jump scares. Instead, it uses silence, pressure, and the claustrophobic weight of your suit to build dread. Every breath counts, and your oxygen meter becomes more terrifying than anything else. But the further you go, the more you question what's real. You start seeing things. Memories? Ghosts? Guilt? Narcosis plays with hallucinations and grief, slowly breaking the grip on reality. Gameplay-wise, it's simple. Limited mobility, no weapons, just survival. But it's the psychological design, not the mechanics, that make it terrifying. Narcosis proves that horror doesn't need monsters, just silence, pressure, and the fear that your mind might turn against you. Narcosis shows us the fear of being alone in the deep, trapped in pressure, silence, and memory. But what happens when the silence follows you into space and there's no water left to drink? Just a bottle, a habit, a ritual, and nowhere left to go but inward. Mouthwashing drops you onto the Tulpa, a crippled freighter lost in space after a ruinous crash. You're part of a 5-person crew stranded far from rescue. The story unfolds non-linearly. You shift between Curly before the crash and Jimmy after. The ship's windows are glued to a haunting sunset, the atmosphere drifting between memories and nightmare. With supplies gone, they tear open their lavish cargo. Not food, not medicine, just mouthwash. Not detergent, but alcohol. Millions of bottles. Panic sets in. The addiction starts. As the cruise spirals, so does reality. You'll hear pleas, drunken confessions, see hallucinations, and up corridors that shift without warning. What starts as survival descends into horror. Force-feeding sessions, painful truths about the captain, twisted bonds of guilt and shame. You're left piecing together betrayal, corporate greed, and unthinkable acts. Mouthwashing becomes a grotesque symbol, spiritual balm turned weapon, corporate veneer peeling away until only desperation remains. By the end, you're shaken, nauseous, morally compromised. There are no heroes, only survivors weighed down by guilt and madness. Mouthwashing isn't just depressing or spooky. It's a slow burn tragedy, an elaborate psychological dissection of desperation, addiction, and broken loyalty. And when it's over, you don't just turn it off, it turns something in you. Mouthwashing enters silence. Not the peaceful kind, but the kind that settles after something breaks and can't be fixed. But not all horror happens in isolation. Sometimes it finds you in the places meant to be safe. Like a school hallway after dark, locked doors, flickering lights, and the feeling that you're not alone. Not all horror needs to be cosmic or surreal. Sometimes it just takes a locked school, a quiet hallway, and the feeling that you're being watched. White Day, a Labyrinth-named school, is a Korean psychological horror game that builds fear through silence, superstition, and tight spaces. You play as a student sneaking into school after hours to deliver a gift. Oh well, the diary. But this place has its own history, one that's soaked in trauma, revenge, and loss. There's no combat here. The only defense is hiding. And that's what makes the game feel so helpless. Especially when the school's night guards aren't quite human. What starts as urban legend quickly turns into something darker. You're not just being stalked by one threat. The school is crawling with spirits, and each one has a story tied to pain or death. What really sets White Day apart is its tension. Every hallway feels like it's watching you. The puzzles force you to slow down, even when you want to run. There are multiple endings based on how you interact with the other students, each one peeling back a different layer of guilt, grief, or sacrifice. White Day doesn't just scare you with ghosts, it makes you live in their world, on their terms, and leaves you questioning who the real monsters are. Hallway ghosts are easy to escape. Childhood ghosts, not so much. Lydia takes us into a different kind of horror. One told through the eyes of someone too young to understand and too scared to forget. Some horror doesn't come from monsters or murder, but from the things we don't understand when we're too young to speak about them. In Lydia, you see the world through the eyes of a child growing up in a broken home. Her parents are loud, there's always smoke in the room, and she's told to go play, while things fall apart around her. There's a monster in Lydia's world, but it's not made of claws or teeth. It's made of slurred words, broken promises, and the kind of silence that grows between people who are supposed to care. Gameplay is simple. You walk, you talk, you choose. But it's the choices you don't understand or can't change that hurt the most. This game doesn't explain everything. It's not meant to. Because when you're a kid, things just happen. And those moments stick with you. Lydia escapes into fantasy to cope. A dream world of forests and strange creatures. But even there, the fear follows. The monster isn't gone. It just waits in the dark. This isn't a game about survival. It's about understanding. About what trauma looks like when you're too small to name it and too alone to fight it. Lydia doesn't want to scare you. She wants you to remember. Lydia leaves you haunted by the past. But what if the horror wasn't behind you, but in every moment still ahead? In this final game, fear doesn't strike. It settles. Quietly. One meal, one conversation, one slow apocalypse at a time. Most horror games build tension through danger. But what if the danger never comes? What if you're just waiting for the world to end? And while we wait here, you run a small town diner. You serve coffee, you listen, and somewhere out there, maybe right above you, the apocalypse is unfolding. You hear reports, fragmented updates, a strange event, maybe a bomb, maybe something worse. The world is unraveling, one broadcast at a time. Customers come and go. Some ask for food, some for forgiveness. Others talk like they're already dead, and all you can do is listen.
We don't have to worry about them over here.
The gameplay is simple. Take orders, make food, choose what to say. But every choice starts to feel heavier. because no one is really here for a meal. They're here to be heard. One last time. Fear doesn't come from jump scares. It comes from knowing something's wrong and not being able to fix it. From seeing people break down or having to keep moving away. While we wait here isn't about surviving. It's about accepting what people become when the end is near, and how long we can pretend things are normal. There's no escape, no countdown, just coffee, conversation, and the quiet of waiting. I hadn't touched most of these games in years. Coming back, they still resonate with me. Everything you saw was basically a fresh playthrough. I still recommend every single one of them. They don't scream. They linger. And if one of them stays with you, then I've done my job. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. And stay unsettled.